I understand that this role play is for the purpose of assessment in the course 1018 PSY and that you are not a qualified counsellor. You have explained this to me and I have consented to playing the role of a client and to being video recorded. I understand that the recording and written transcript will be kept confidential and only viewed by the teaching team.
Hello Emma, my name's Ali. It's lovely to meet you.
Hi Ali.
How did you go getting here today?
Yeah, not too bad. The traffic was pretty easy, which was good.
Good, yeah. It's a busy area, so sometimes people, they struggle, so that's good.
Yeah, I think I just missed school peak hour, so that's good.
Good. Before we do get started, have you been to a counselling session before?
Not before, no.
You haven't? Okay, cool. Just going to run through just some few little housekeeping. Confidentiality is really important to us here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we discuss will just be between you and I. However, there are some scenarios. Say I feel that you've led me to believe you may be in harm or someone else may be in harm. I will have to pass on that information. Just as duty of care. If the courts subpoena my notes, they may need to take them in that instance. And then lastly, just if my supervisor or a medical practitioner wants to check in, just for your best interest, just to make sure we've got everything on the right path.
Yeah, no worries, that all sounds fine.
Okay, good. You don't have any questions?
No, that's all I understand.
Right. Thanks, Emma. So what's brought you in today?
Well, a little while ago I had this lady come into work. I work for employment services. So sometimes we deal with people that are dealing with some intense stuff. Not often, but this lady in particular came in and from what we've known about her in the past and what had happened, we were basically led to believe and understand that she was coming down off the drug ice. So she came in, I'm the receptionist there, so right at the front where the waiting area is, and she came in and she was very erratic and angry and demanding to see her employment consultant. So I went down to try and get the lady, and all the consultants are sort of freaking out and they didn't want to go up and see her, and they just made me go up and see her, but I don't really feel qualified to deal with this situation, and it wasn't me she wanted to see, so there was nothing I could have told her to settle her down, and she was quite angry, and it was all resolved in the end. Our manager went up and spoke with her, and she calmed down, and that's when she disclosed that she was coming down and wasn't able to get the drugs that she was after, and that's why she was feeling very emotional and angry. So it was all resolved in the end, but it was just a very intense situation to deal with, and these are the sort of things I knew that I would deal with, people that have been on drugs and things like that. You hear about these things, but it was just something that I don't think anything could have prepared me for. I think as much as I knew logically, it still shook me a bit, and I thought, that's just that, but then I've gone home and I've been, like, the stress has sort of dragged out from it a bit longer than I would have expected, and and I don't mean to, but I'm sort of taking it out on people at home, and things are getting tense at home because of it, and I just don't want this to affect my life. I don't want it to be a big thing, but I think obviously it shook me a bit more than I thought it did the first day, so I thought maybe I'd come and talk to somebody about it and understand why I'm so affected by this.
Yeah, it's a super confronting thing that you've dealt with. It sounds like the lady's come in and she's required everything from you when you felt this isn't actually my place.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a stressful situation that you've been put in.
Yeah.
And then tell me a bit about your work colleagues. Have you been in a situation before where they've maybe could have stepped in, or
like another situation like what happened? Not like this. I mean, I'm working there for a few months, and I mean, I don't love them, but they are what they are, and it's work. But I definitely don't think they take responsibility maybe in situations where they could have, but there's definitely never been something with the gravity of this situation. So I think maybe that is something I worry about, dealing with it again. And, you know, maybe how they're going to deal with it next time. I hope that if we do deal with this again, I hope I don't have to see that again. But if so, I hope that they handle it better, and I think I do worry about that.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, you were put under pressure. You really wanted the colleagues to back you,
Yeah.
but they left it all to
Yeah.
you, really, didn't they?
Yeah, I felt thrown in the deep end.
And when you're a manager, when they stepped in, did you feel much better just having someone there for you?
Yeah, I mean, I wish she didn't take as long as she did to step in, but when she did, it was, you know, then it was taken out of my hands, and I didn't, you know, I didn't have to do anything anymore. So, yeah, that was good after that.
Yeah. You mentioned about home, so then you come home and you mentioned that it's a bit maybe that you're letting out these feelings.
Yeah, well, I've just been, I think, a bit more withdrawn, and I don't know, maybe just, I think my family thinks I appear a little bit more angry on the outside, and it's certainly not anything I do consciously. I think I just think about, you know, what happened, and, you know, just feeling these strong feelings all the time. So I'm distracted by that, so I'm, you know, I'm not responding to people in a happy way like I normally would. So I think because they sense that I'm tense and they're tense, and it's just, everyone's tense all the time now, and I don't, you know, I thought the day it happened, I didn't come to see anyone straight away because I thought I'll sleep it off. But yeah, I guess I didn't realise until my family pointed it out that I haven't stopped being stressed from it. And yeah.
It feels like, I mean, you're telling me that you're tense. It feels like almost like you're walking on these eggshells when really you want to come home and just enjoy your family and reset.
Yeah, it's definitely how I feel.
Yeah. And so, have you ever felt like this at home before, or you've always had a really
comfortable? It's usually okay. I mean, family's family, happy things, but not like this. No, normally you have a situation, you have it out with them, you get over it, you get past it. But I think because this is something external, I haven't been able to go through that process of resolving it. So, yeah, I've just stayed stressed. Instead of, like, if there was an issue I had with somebody I lived with, I could just resolve that with them. But because of this lady being from somewhere else and the way she is now, I can't resolve it in the same way. So maybe that's why.
Yeah. So, I guess moving forward as well, the way the lady made you feel, do you want to tell me a bit more about how that made you feel?
Yeah.
What went on there?
Well, in the moment, I felt really scared. You know, 'cause she was making threats, not directly to me, mainly her consultant. She said she wanted to punch her in the head, but then, you know, she was saying that she'd get her bikie friends to, like, follow us home and come in, and, you know, just very violent. And, like, I guess part of me knew that she probably wasn't going to follow through with these things, but it's still, and people on drugs, it can be very unpredictable. And I just felt very scared, and now I feel a little bit like I'm looking over my shoulder, because even though she seemed fine afterwards, you know, I don't know if she'll get angry again and remember what happened and maybe come and do something. So, yeah, I just felt scared, mainly, I would say.
Yeah. And when you tell me you're scared, do you feel like maybe she might come in to work again?
Yeah, I think I do. Again, I try and sort of think, oh, you know, it's unlikely, but part of me does think maybe, you know, it's a possibility. And again, like I already said, you know, if she's on drugs, she can be unpredictable. She might have calmed down one day, but if she gets angry again, you know, it could happen again, or somebody else could do it. Like, I don't know how often I'm going to be dealing with this.
And have you been at this job for long?
About 5 months.
Okay. It sounds like your profession and your workplace, you feel very passionate about it, so you almost want to feel like you're in control.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can perform.
Well, I picked this job because, you know, the organisation sounded great, and they, their message was that they, you know, want to help people, and I want to help people too. So, you know, I want this to be a good thing and, you know, meaningful, but, you know, the potential threat to my life or safety, I think outweighs that a bit more than I'm okay with. I just want to, I guess, and I knew, like I said, I think I knew a bit before starting that I would deal with some difficult people and some really emotional people that can get angry. But I think it was more how that it was handled that made me feel uneasy. I want to feel like, you know, we will deal with these situations, but when they happen, I want to know that, you know, there's good procedures in place, and, you know, the staff's safety is at the peak of importance to them. And from what I saw, that's just not really what I felt.
Yeah. Do you feel like after this situation where there was, you know, you telling me lack of support and that really that grounding there that made you feel safe, do you feel moving forward that the business has taken this situation on board, that they might be a bit more aware of?
Well, I think surely it was a bit of a learning curve for them. And, you know, that manager in particular, I don't know if she'd dealt with it before or not. I would like to think that she's learned something from it, but then it hasn't been discussed about. You know, we haven't talked about it since. So I kind of feel like maybe there should have been a meeting or something where they, you know, addressed it with us and said, you know, we, you know, want you to know that we've got this and this in place, and this is, you know, if this happens again, you know, it's going to be different, and handled better. So that hasn't happened. So I guess they haven't said anything that makes me think they don't take it seriously, but they haven't taken any action to make me feel like they've taken it seriously either. So, yeah.
But from what I'm hearing, perhaps if that meeting did happen, you'd be able to sort of move on.
Yeah, I think I'd feel a bit better. I think maybe if they said, you know, we're sorry that this happened, but these things do happen sometimes, and it's, you know, it's out of their control that it happens. But just some sort of reassurance that we care about your safety, we've got things in place, we're going to make sure that it's going to be okay. I think even if we all just heard that, then we can all feel a bit more protected and cared for by the company.
Yeah, it sounds like you're just almost feeling overwhelmed in the fact that you don't feel safe.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess I'm feeling like maybe my safety isn't valued as much as I'd hoped. From what you know, the impression I got from them at the beginning to, you know, seeing how they actually handle things doesn't really match up. So I'm a little bit unclear about, you know, their values.
Look, Emma, we are nearly running out of time for today. If I can just sort of clarify with you from what I've heard to make sure we've got everything. This situation that's happened at work, it's made you feel uncomfortable and almost not safe at all. You need that support from your work colleagues, which is completely understandable. And then that situation now is carried onto your home life, and it's putting that tense pressure in the air when you didn't normally have that relationship at home.
And that's definitely everything that's really summarises what I'm going through at the moment.
Is there anything else you want to talk to me about before we finish up?
No, I think for this appointment, that's pretty much everything.
Okay. Well, Emma, I'm so proud of you. It takes a lot to be able to open up to. I'm a complete stranger, but I'm very proud of you for coming to me.
Thank you.
I'd love to work with you next week again, and keep moving forward on that fabulous relationship you want to build back with your workplace and also your family at home.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, so should we schedule in for next week?
Yeah, perfect.
Fantastic. Okay. We have a lovely night, Emma. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.